This is the 3100 block of Weymouth Street in North
FBI letting
Philadelphia.
cops do their job.
It's a massive traffic conspiracy spanning nearly a decade.
Federal investigators called Ground Zero for a long-running operation in plain sight.
Involving tremendous volumes of and narcotics.
Look.
Plain sight.
Y'all see this, you dumb? Look. Screenshot from video entitled Patroncito, uploaded the first by an unindicted co-conspirator, in which co-conspirator 12, whose alias was Ponza, appears brandishing a firearm. Co-conspirator 11 raps the lyrics, "I'll get you with Ponza with Draco and your stiff." So you niggas need to learn that you cannot continue to keep committing crimes on a daily basis. And you think because you posted it on a video and talked about it with an illegal gun in your hand, you think you're not supposed to get arrested for it. Stop it.
Involving tremendous volumes of and narcotics.
Those people you see lining up, allegedly customers for heroin, cocaine, and more.
Estoy odiando a las más duras con un vasito púrpura vestido con ropa oscura y lo mando pa'l gula gracias a la...
Sold openly around the clock for years, until now.
We have permanently removed a trafficking organization out of the streets of Philadelphia, and they're going to stop pouring and chemicals and drugs into our community.
Them Spanish niggas in Philly tweaking too. That's the crazy part. These niggas is rapping while they selling.
The feds say the operation revolved around one man, Jose Antonio Morales Neves, aka Flaco. Prosecutors say he ran a drug network that stretched from Puerto Rico to the Kensington neighborhood of Philadelphia.
Damn!
Patroncito, patroncito, va muertito. Te pato la cara con mi Draco y lo repito.
Where's the subtitles at, man? I don't know that. It was
The
going on
Kensington
that
neighborhood
shit.
of Philadelphia has long been documented as the epicenter of the opioid crisis in the northeastern United States, a jaw-dropping, in-your-face, open-air market that operates with a degree of visibility and impunity rarely seen in modern American cities. However, the indictment and subsequent investigation of Weymouth Street and their operations by the FBI offers a granular, almost microscopic view into the machinery that powered this blight to the community. The 3100 block of Weymouth Street has plagued the city of Philadelphia for years.
You know, I used to think that the Mexicans, the Spanish niggas, was a little smarter than that. You know, usually the Spanish guys, they're a little bit smarter than to you know what I'm saying? To be tweaking like that.
As it functioned 24 hours a day,
snitching on themselves,
365 days a year.
But they get influenced by these
fentanyl and crack up and down the block, Weymouth Street, in
all
part
three of them
by their
shit?
connects in Puerto Rico, some of the most violent and notorious Rican gangs. The government alleges they used multiple occupied and abandoned houses and lots on the block, as well as trash cans, ground drains, cars, tires, porches, basically anywhere to store small to medium amounts of drugs in easily accessible places. In addition to the stashing of drugs in various locations along the 3100 block.
One thing about a Spanish nigga, when they commit crimes, they gonna be sophisticated than them. They niggas building tunnels to break El Chapo out. They got up under the sewers and shit. What's going on, man?
They allegedly used several off-the-block locations to package and store that they delivered to the block through re-ups. Up until August 2025, when the FBI searched both locations, Weymouth used a house on Tacoma Street as a bag house for and it used a garage on Rover Street as a stash house for crack. Weymouth also used a particular lot on Weymouth Street as a meeting place, stash location, and location to cook crack. They called it the bunker. It consists of a drywall structure with a physically connected tent structure with a door in between that can be opened or closed. Over the course of the FBI and Philadelphia Police Department's investigation in the case, about 4 keys of 727 grams of crack and around 4 keys of powder were seized, either from controlled buys, arrest on a block, or the execution of search warrants. The government says that those relatively small amounts do not come close to representing.
And it's a lot, but I'm gonna say it's not like the most. Like it ain't like they said 100 pounds or something. You know what I'm saying?
The enormous quantity sold by Weymouth over the 9-year conspiracy that was charged. A conservative estimate, as the evidence underlying the case will show, is that Weymouth, for the 9-year period that was charged, trafficked roughly 10 to 18 keys of and 16 to 30 keys of crack to buyers in the Kensington area. Weymouth represents what the government called a state of exception, where standard laws were suspended by force and commerce. For nearly a decade, from 2016 to late 2025, Weymouth Street operated and maintained its dominance not through just sales, but through the establishment of a parallel type governing structure involving payroll, shift work, infrastructure like management, and, of course, violence. The investigation culminated in a 41-count federal indictment, which will reveal a well-organized operation that was able to absorb repeated law enforcement shocks, including raids, arrests, and seizures, only to recalibrate and expand their operations. This video serves as a foundational dossier organizing thousands of pages of court documents, wiretap transcripts, and surveillance logs into a cohesive narrative. It dissects the organization's hierarchy, its lethal indifference to its customer base, and its sophisticated network stretching from Puerto Rico, and the disturbing cycle of recidivism that allowed convicted murderers and career criminals to operate the block without fear of arrest. The hierarchy structure resembles that of the mafia. The resilience of the Weymouth group stems from its biological and romantic composition. Unlike strictly transactional gangs, Weymouth is built upon a core family tree with layers of loyalty and complicity that are difficult.
I ain't gonna lie though, if you gonna do crime, that might be the smartest way to do it. You know, niggas that's all locked up with each other, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, these niggas be snitching on each other because they was only around each other for some bread. Do your homework on the bread. If that bread, then leave. For the grade, escape.
For the law to penetrate, the leadership structure includes moms, dads, cousins, sisters, wives,
the Mexicans,
brothers,
though, boy, I'm telling you.
and everything else, and of course violence and its enforcement. At the center of the conspiracy stands Nancy Rios-Valentine, described by federal prosecutors as the, quote, glue of the organization. Her power is derived from a trifecta of relationships. She is the sister of Weymouth's deceased former leader, Fellow. She is in a romantic relationship with who prosecutors say is the current street boss, Roman Montanez, and the sister of the chief enforcer, Angel Rios-Valentine. Nancy's role defies the traditional girlfriend archetype often seen in blockbuster narco-trafficking movies. The evidence places her in an executive capacity. Nancy didn't merely...
She's probably the boss. She probably the one that organized all this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how much... Like, the only thing I be saying about these type of families and shit, though, is like, shorty, if y'all would have put that same energy into some legal shit, y'all would be rich as hell with no jail.
Messages, she actively managed the shift schedule.
Look at that. They got shift
handwritten ledgers and text messages where she assigns specific caseworkers to time slots on the block, like 7 to 3, 3 to 12, 12 to 7, etc. This schedule had an almost corporate-like rigidity, ensuring 24 hours.
Like, if you can do this, I swear to God, you can do any... Because you got to think about it like this, shorty. If you build a successful business that's illegal, you got to make all this money, and you can't even market it. You can't even promote it. You can't even put it on your Instagram and be like, hey, y'all, come to such and such rib shack. You feel me? You can't even make commercials. You can't even go on Instagram. You can't even do that. So imagine if y'all had all of this organization, all of this hard work, all of this everything, folks. Like, this is crazy. I don't think niggas ain't doing this. Let's just be honest with you, folks. Niggas ain't doing this. Niggas just pop outside every day, do something real quick, get locked up. Oh, I don't know what happened. These just overly smart, like, got this shit planned out. Like, they got real shifts. If y'all did that shit for anything else, y'all be rich as hell right now.
She was responsible for the collection of the drug money. Seizures at her residence on Weymouth Street, which the FBI calls the headquarters, yielded hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash. $55,000 was seized in 2018, $124,000 in cash in 2022. And just recently in 2025, another $24,000 was seized from the property. Damn. Surveillance and wiretaps captured Nancy Rios-Valentine directing the resupply of the corner runners. In one intercepted call, she coordinates the delivery of, quote, white rice, which is package, making sure that the inventory levels matched the customer demand. Her
Right.
authority even extended to discipline.
This
On March
real
17,
power
2025, she was photographed publicly chastising a low-level street dealer, Lewis Williams, for money discrepancy. Immediately following her cursing him out, enforcers physically assaulted him, demonstrating that
They tripping on that though. They doing this shit broad daylight in front of. Nah, that was stupid.
her word was backed by immediate violence. Viejo served as the daily operations manager and the romantic partner of Nancy Rios-Valentine. Living with her on 3100 Weymouth Street, he turned their shared home into a fortified command center. Viejo's leadership style was characterized by pragmatism regarding the deadliness of. He was the primary liaison with the guys that would cook up and the suppliers. His role involved personally testing and approving batches of. He coordinated with
Testing? Hold on, my guy. What kind of testing?
What?
Stupid.
upstream suppliers.
Tell you, I wouldn't even be in the same room
the
as that shit.
continuous flow of food or heroin and hard or crack. Unlike many leaders who insulate themselves, Viejo remained hands-on, personally conducting sales of up to 50 to 100 bundles on the street to high-value customers and participating in controlled buys with FBI informants. The ultimate authority of the Weymouth operation was Jose Antonio Morales Neves, or Flaco, who operated with a level of insulation provided by distance. While he maintained ownership of the block in Kensington, he frequently resided in Lequillo, Puerto Rico. His extradition from Puerto Rico in October 2025 marked the culmination of the federal investigation. Flaco functioned as a
That's
financial.
the scary part about Puerto Rico, though, is that the feds can. I don't know. Is that true? I don't know. But from my understanding, since Puerto Rico is still in the U.S., the feds can still come in there and do a sweep. It ain't like Mexico where you could be in Mexico and they don't give. They just whatever. You feel me? You can't be in Puerto Rico just doing any and everything. I mean, you can, but if the feds want to get involved, they can. You know.
Backstop and the quote bank for the organization. Despite reporting zero legitimate income, he frequently posted significant bail amounts for block runners and dealers, ensuring their silence and return to the workforce. Records show that his mom, Elizabeth Valentine, alone would act as surety for the bail of up to $25,000 for Weymouth members. Angel Rios-Valentine, brother to Nancy and a former leader, fellow represents Weymouth's capacity for violence. Career criminal with a federal firearms conviction. In 2020, he returned to the organization immediately upon his release from prison. His role was the protection of the enterprise's assets and territory, basically the muscle. He stockpiled an arsenal of war-grade weaponry.
Hold on, pause, bro. These niggas got an ARP custom made like a Golden State Warrior that say Steph Curry on it. So you know whoever was wielding this firearm right here, that guy must be a real man. If he got Steph, I've never seen this in my life.
What?
He got Steph Curry written on his ARP. You know he headhunting. He headshot. You know he got like 57 bodies. Do your homework, Steph Curry. He's a shooter. Now, if they find another that say Klay Thompson, we gonna have two of the biggest killers in Philadelphia drill history. Do your homework.
Barely.
Upon his arrest in October 2025, while he was on federal supervised release, agents recovered a .40 caliber pistol, an Anderson MFG assault rifle, a CD Defense semi-automatic assault pistol, an Aero Precision M4E1 assault rifle from his residence. Weymouth operated with a sophistication that mirrors legitimate business firms. They utilized a hub and spoke distribution model, keeping bulk inventory in off-site locations or stash houses, and moving just-in-time inventory to the retail location on Weymouth Street to make sure things were always running, including during police raids. The organization had multiple properties to spread the risk out. Effectively, 3100 block of Weymouth Street acted as the retail floor, an open-air drug market open 24/7. Another house on the block was the quote headquarters. This is where Nancy Rios and Roman Montanez lived. Right next door to that was the bunker. This is where Weymouth leadership would cook and prepare crack, a specially constructed drywall/tent structure used for meetings, cooking crack, and avoiding surveillance. Right down the street was.
See, I'm gonna be honest with y'all though, and I was not Pablo Escobar. I was a goofy ass 15-year-old little kid that was just out here trying to make a few $100s a day, if that, for real. most of my days was $50, $75 a day, $89, whatever, something like that. But one thing I never did was like set up no trap house. I ain't never understood. And I don't want to encourage nobody. Listen, what I was doing was dumb as hell. I'm lucky to not be in jail. Do your homework. And I never got caught for nothing. But I never set up no trap house. I would come to certain but trap houses always scared me, folks, because I'm like, police come in here, we're done, so gang. Like, I'd rather be on my own 2 feet, you feel me, or riding around getting this shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And when I did have to stash my shit somewhere or whatever the case was, it was always in places where like you wouldn't know, nobody else knew but me, number one. Number two, the police ain't really on them places like that. Like, you ever had one of them days where everything seems to go wrong? I mean, you're just trying to grab a cup of coffee and BAM! You're tangled in a pile of boxes because the shelf was broken. And just like that, I realized sometimes accidents at work are more than just funny stories. They can actually change everything. Trying to handle a workplace injury on your own, it's like trying to fix the broken shelf yourself. More chaos, more headaches, and it's no guarantee that you'll get what you deserve. You got paperwork, insurance calls, and someone always telling you to wait. It's enough to make you wish you had a secret weapon. But here's the thing, there's a team of people that fights for people just like you. For over 35 years, Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, has been winning cases when everybody else said it couldn't be done. In Florida, someone got $12 million after a work accident, even though the insurance was ready to offer just $350,000. In Pennsylvania, a worker was awarded $26 million, which was 40 times the initial offer. These are not just numbers. They're real victories for real people, all thanks to the team that fights hard for justice. More than 1,000 attorneys across all 50 states, like a legal squad ready to jump into action. Yeah. They've recovered over $25 billion for clients. And they have a long history of helping workers get what they're owed. Because when you're injured at work, you shouldn't have to go at it alone. You can just click the link below or the QR code that's on your screen. No endless waits or confusing forms. Just a quick way to start protecting your rights today. So if you had an accident on the job, do not risk doing it alone. You can check out Morgan & Morgan, because even in the toughest workplace accidents, a strong team makes all the difference. And trust me, there's a reason why they're America's largest injury law firm. It's because they fight for the people just like you. I stash my shit in the park. You know what I'm saying? I stash my shit in the staircase all the way on the 20th floor somewhere. Do your homework. I stash my shit in. Sometimes, honestly, be honest with y'all, it sound crazy. I used to stash my shit in my school locker. You know what I'm saying? I used to have my shit vacuum sealed in my school locker, and sometimes I keep it there for days, weeks at a time. You feel me? Until I can find another spot. But this don't make no sense to me. Like, you selling. You got 4 or 5 trap houses on the same block in the same hood where you cook, hold the drugs, you cook the drugs, you bag the drugs up, you got meetings about the drugs. It's kind of like y'all don't want to spread this shit out a little bit.
Overflow stash house. This was used to store in bulk amounts of drugs. The house on Tacawana Street was the stash house, as I said earlier, ran by Sandino Hidalgo Genayo, or Domi. The garage on Rohrer Street acted as the crack stash house. This is where Joey, or Joel, would operate from. Tacawana Street, managed by Dome, was described by the FBI as the engine of Waymo. Here, bulk was cut and packaged for sale. The investigation showed a disturbing lack of care for the potency of the product. On July 26, 2025, federal wiretap captured a conversation between Viejo and Dome that they say encapsulates Waymo's philosophy. Viejo says, "If you can make it just a little bit stronger, that'll be good." Dome responds, "Bro, if I make it any stronger, it'll kill him." Viejo then says, "Okay, then leave it like that. Check to see if you can make it burn later." The FBI says,
Okay, leaving like that, but that's the other stuff. Yeah, that's like the phrase of, yes, I did. We're checking it out. It's good. If you can make it just a little bit stronger, that'll be good.
then leave it like that. Check to see if you can make it burn later. The FBI says this exchange confirms that the leadership was consciously aware that their product was deadly. Viejo's concern was not for potential.
Hell yeah, fent is one of the crazy. I don't know. I didn't realize that people actually did fent though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought it was like just some shit that they put into other nugs to make it like a little bit stronger and like it stretch a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's less potent, but it's still strong type shit. I didn't realize niggas was actually like, that's crazy to me.
Overdoses, but rather the aesthetic quality of the when they talk about it, quote, burning lighter to appeal to user preferences. The raid on this spot yielded over 2 keys of and thousands of stamped bags ready for sale. Weymouth Street utilized branding to differentiate their product in the competitive Kensington market. They used ink stamps on their wax paper baggies, creating recognizable product lines. Identified stamps included Rifle or Ric Flair, Santa Muerta, Ocho Blanco, Debo, Little Devil, and Junkie Love. Weymouth understood the cycles of addiction and government assistance. Evidence shows that on the last day of the month, immediately before welfare benefit checks were issued, Weymouth would flood the 3100 block with free samples of new. The FBI alleged that this predatory marketing tactic was designed to increase user dependence on their specific brand, right as customers got their check. Surveillance images from October 31st, 2025 show crowds swarming the block for these free handouts. The FBI says Weymouth's, quote, labor management was formalized. Handwritten ledgers recovered from Nancy's house on Weymouth Street, which the government called the headquarters, like I said, detailed a rigid shift schedule. 7 to 3, 3 to 12, 12 to 7. The ledger lists specific workers for each slot, like Nan for Nancy, Panza, who was back in October, Eli, Moya, and Chippy. Workers were paid based on sales volumes, with proceeds divvied out daily at the headquarters. Wiretaps captured Chicken or Javier Resto Berrios discussing the financial necessity of picking up extra shifts to pay bills, showing the position of the lower level dealers. Weymouth maintained its territory through a calculated projection of power. This was allegedly achieved through physical violence, the accumulation of power, and the sophisticated use of social media propaganda. They didn't rely on random weaponry. They amassed a paramilitary arsenal. The seizure of multiple assault rifles like AR-15.
This is the first like organized gang or organized crime thing that I've seen in Philly though. You know, Philly just known for niggas outside with mass shooting shit out of each other.
AK-47 variants, semi-automatic pistols with extended magazine indicates a readiness for war, says the FBI indictment. These weapons were placed in, quote, strategic locations like stash houses and under cars on the block. A distinct feature of Weymouth was his use of YouTube music videos to, quote, intimidate rivals and allegedly recruit young boys. Weymouth made videos filmed directly on the 3100 block. Videos like Philly Boy in April 2024 features Elio, Chippy, and Grande, who the FBI says were brandishing firearms and flashing gang signs on the very corner.
Y'all see this? And y'all, every time this happened, let me move myself over. Every time this happened, y'all be like, "Oh, Mako, you can't use lyrics and videos." And who can't? FBI can do what they want to do, kid. Look at this. What it say? Appear next to individuals wielding firearms, making gestures of violence or gang affiliation, and walking through streets that neighbor the 3100 block of Weymouth. So while y'all think y'all quote unquote trying to keep it real, y'all is on y'all actual block. The block that y'all actually sell drugs and gangbang on. Y'all went to that real block. Y'all talking about real ops, real crimes, real murders. Y'all got real. Y'all too stupid to the point where y'all don't even go. You know you can get airsoft that look exactly like real. They just don't have real bullets, right? And you could go do that, and then you could show and prove that those were props. Y'all don't do that. Y'all can go to another block or another city and film videos where it's not connected to what y'all actually got going on. Y'all don't do that either. Y'all could rap about crimes that ain't really happening. Y'all don't do that. Y'all can rap about ops that ain't really your ops. Y'all don't do that. Y'all get on Instagram and YouTube and go to your actual hood that you actually gangbanging and selling on. Talk about your real ops that you actually really killing with real guns that you really not supposed to have, throwing up gang signs that you it's not legal to throw up for real, And then when the feds come swoop in,
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
when the feds swoop in, everybody like, oh, what happened? Oh, free me. I'll be home soon. No, the fuck you won't, bro. No, you won't.
The FBI says we're brandishing firearms
No, you
and
won't be
flashing
home
gang
quick,
signs
man.
on the
I'm
very
telling you,
corners they
dude.
control. Pontrecito in November
telling you,
2023 features the now deceased leader, Panza, brandishing a firearm while lyrics explicitly threatens rival. I'll get you with Ponzo with Draco and you're stiff, is what the FBI says the lyrics translate to. The video 23, which came out in May of 2024, features Grande holding stacks of what the FBI says are proceeds on the block. The lyrics taunt law enforcement. You die today or you die today.
And then another thing, y'all always got a bunch of cash in y'all hands on the internet. I remember when I first blew up, like I had me a little bit of money. I used to have cash on me and shit like that when I thought it was cool. Stupid shit. I remember a lot of niggas was like, oh, you scamming. I said, bro, if I was scamming, you think I'd be stupid enough to get on the internet and show you a bunch of cash that I can't prove to the authorities, to the FBI, to the SEC, to these federal authorities? If anything I post on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, I can prove to y'all. Y'all don't got no job. Y'all ain't got no business set up. Y'all don't got no nothing. Y'all ain't got no stock portfolio. Y'all ain't got nothing, but you always showing $20, $50, $100,000 cash. So it's like when the police catch you for selling, of course they're going to say that this money was from bro. You just putting more evidence on yourself. I'm really disappointed in my amigos for getting themselves caught like this. This is some nigga stupid. My amigos are not supposed to do the same thing that the niggas do. It's so crazy.
Sure of it. They told me the facts. You're talking to the DEA, says the indictment. Kyle Ken shows a co-contributor on the scoop of Waymo's bunker holding a handgun with an extended magazine. The FBI says these videos were not merely artistic expression. They were proof of the gang's aspirations for domination. The FBI says that Waymo.
Now, when you when you go when you rap about killing somebody, but you've been in the crib all day, them people usually don't get locked up for shit. You rapping about ops dying when you ain't killing nobody, you probably not gonna go to jail. But if you really doing this shit, gang, I don't know what else somebody really expects. That's always been like my thing about it. Like, what else do you expect to happen?
This is the 3100
You see what I'm saying? You expect to not get caught for this?
Constructed a physical stronghold known as the bunker on Waymo Street. I've described this earlier. It consisted of a drywall structure attached to a tent, providing a private space for cooking crack and conducting business away from street view. However, the FBI managed to install a covert video/audio recording device inside the bunker. This device captured high-definition evidence of
when like this happened, bro, ain't nothing you could do.
Providing a private space for cooking crack and conducting business away from street view. However, the FBI managed to install a covert video/audio recording device inside the bunker. This device captured high-definition evidence of defendants cooking crack, and they had Roman Montanez and others discussing business strategy.
The presence of Nancy. It's over with for y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. We'll see y'all ass in February. Y'all tripping. Y'all got real. See, when the feds come, boy, and the feds ain't coming to play. How the hell did they feds break into y'all spot, set up a camera and a microphone in there to the point where y'all don't even see it? Y'all don't even, it's probably somewhere embedded in the wall or some shit. Y'all don't even see it. And they got y'all on video talking about the business and cooking up cocaine.
Sister Elizabeth, during the discussions, shatters her defense of non-involvement. One of the most damning aspects of the Waymo investigation is the repeated failure of the criminal justice system to incapacitate these actors. Waymo was staffed by individuals who had been arrested, convicted, and released, only to immediately return to the 3100 block. Joel Carrillo Crespo, or Joey, serves as the exact type of person I'm talking about. In 2003, he committed a murder just feet away from the 3100 block of Waymo Street. He was convicted and sentenced to 15 to 30 years in prison. He served nearly 21 years. Upon his parole release in March 2023, he did not rehabilitate. He immediately resumed a leadership role, according to the FBI. He allegedly managed crack supply, utilizing the garage on Rover Street. His immediate return to the same block to allegedly commit the same crimes highlights the deep entrenchment of the organization.
That nigga
For
went
Joey,
right back to the scene, even go to a different block. That nigga got out of jail from and went right back to the same block y'all
Weymouth was
locked
the
up.
only home and employer that mattered. Adelita Gonzalez, the street-level dealer, exemplifies the revolving door of local justice. A career offender with convictions dating back to 2003, she was arrested by local police for trafficking on October 23, 2025, the day before the massive federal takedown. After being processed and released by local authorities, she did not flee or hide. She went straight back to the 3100 block of Weymouth Street at 6 a.m. FBI surveillance cameras captured her showing her new court paperwork to Weymouth members hours before the raid, treating the arrest as a minor nuisance before resuming work. Angel Rios-Valentine was convicted federally in 2020 for possessing a firearm taken from the block. He was sentenced to 60 months. When he got out,
60 months for one. Oh my God, y'all nigga, the street, it's too expensive to be in the streets for me, gang. I can't afford that. I'm sorry. 60 months for a gun? You got this gun on you every day, bro. You went to jail for 60 months just for having a gun. I'm cool, gang. I don't understand.
Supervision, he immediately rearmed himself with an even larger arsenal of assault weapons and allegedly resumed his role as enforcer on the block. Following the October 2025 takedown, a fierce legal battle ensued regarding the pretrial detention of all 33 members, specifically Nancy Rios-Valentine. A significant portion of the evidence comes from the wiretap of Javier Resto Berrios, or Chicken. A review of 7 days of calls from May 9th to May 16th, 2025 provides a window into the mundane daily grind of this line of work. Weymouth used thin code.
Let me look up that shit. Did he give it to you? Yeah, I'm now waiting for Dome to get here. Okay, all right. To bring them OV, UI, so I could bring you all three. What did Dome tell you? Yeah, I already called.
Of 7 days of calls from
his 7 days of calls. That's the other thing. Like, y'all ain't using burner phones. Y'all ain't switching y'all phones once a week. Every Friday. Y'all got this whole operation going on, paying y'all hella bread, and y'all ain't even smart enough to switch y'all phones? Like, what the
9th to May 16th, 2025 provides a window into the mundane daily grind of this line of work. Weymouth used thin codes like food to refer to heroin, white rice or snow to refer to, and chinitas to refer to crack vials. On May 10th, Chicken, Angel Rios-Valentine indicating that the supply chain had been disrupted. Resto, their indisputable systemic and lower potency or worse product. The indictment of Weymouth is a document of systemic entrenchment. It shows a criminal organization that successfully, effectively seceded from the illegal order of Philadelphia for nearly a decade by combining family loyalty, corporate logistics, extreme violence, and community propaganda. They created an ecosystem that survived standard policing. The fact that a murder committed in 2003, a gun seized in 2019, and a bag of sold in 2025 are all connected by the same family on the same block and the same indictment under the same business model. On the open air market was a highly organized generational enterprise that required a massive federal intervention to dismantle. Whether this latest takedown breaks the quote family tree or merely prunes it for the next generation remains the open question for Kensington. Viejo was arrested following the execution of search warrants in August 2025.
They toasted, I'll tell you that.
Cocaine and over $24,000 in cash and business ledgers were recovered. Beyond the drug trafficking indictment, he is charged with a conspiracy related to an animal fighting ring involving roosters. Agent found a key at his home that opened a neighboring property where 27.
See, shit like that just be weird to me. So y'all got a ring of roosters fighting? Like, what the like who like? Come on, bro. Like who? Like what's going on?
A pistol was recovered. In addition to conspiracy charges, the indictment against the 33 defendants shows violent and diverse nature of the enterprise, with charges including the conspiracy to sponsor an animal fighting venture and also seized dozens of, confirming the group's control over the block and neighborhood. While the removal of the leadership triad and low-level dealers is a significant victory for law enforcement, the long-term challenge remains the balloon effect. The underlying demand for in Philly and Kensington.
But that's the thing though about this though. You could take down whoever you want, however you want, as big as you want. it's always gonna be a fiend. It's always gonna be a drug fiend. And as long as these niggas always want drugs, people gonna always find a way to get it to them. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what they talking about. You know? Even if, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if America made a lot of these drugs legal. You know what I'm saying? Just to make money off. They don't get no fuck that. You know, there's a lot of people strung out on alcohol. They don't care. There's a lot of people dying from alcohol. They don't care. That shit ain't stop selling it because people dying from alcohol. You know what I'm saying? But how many people you heard die from smoking some damn loud? You ain't never heard that a day in your life, but it's illegal. Federally, at least. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised if they start making that shit legal, or they just start being real lenient on that shit and take some tax money off of it. And think about how much. That's the only reason the Fed's coming to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Is because they can't get no money off of it. If the Feds could get money from taxes and fees and all that and all that, if the government could get money off of that, they wouldn't care about who's selling what, gang. You know what I'm saying? That's the only reason they care about, you know, prostitution, pimps, selling, robberies. The only reason they care is because they can't get a cut.